What's up, Sketchers? We all know that AI has taken a substantial impact to today's world, but is it all bad? Before every single anti-AI person yells after me, no, I do not believe for 1 second that AI should be doing all the work for you when it comes to making art. But at the same time, AI does its job, and that is to enable machines and devices to develop human-like thinking and help people. As much of a love-hate relationship the creative industry has with AI, it's only fair that we weigh out the obvious negatives and the often overlooked positives of AI in the creative industry. Let's dive into it. Number 1. It repeats, reuses, and recycles. The biggest reason as to why AI could potentially be bad for artists is because it simply recycles, it doesn't create. How AI works is pretty complicated, but to simplify, AI is trained on large sets of data, aka images and artworks, and once trained it can essentially create an image that uses data from these images and artworks, but in a way that adapts to what the person demands. Here's a very simplified example of what I mean. I've drawn 2 images, one of a woman on the balcony, and one of a tree in the field. My friend Will, shout out to him, has drawn a fish, a floating cliff, and a pot. If I was to now tell an AI program, hey, make me a mermaid, well, AI can now select the bottom half of Will's fish and my woman drawing and sew them together to create the mermaid. Same with the other 2. So you like trees on the floating cliff? Boom, there you go. And it can even add things in. You want a plant next to the woman? Maybe an oak tree as a plant? Boom, there you go. It's that simple. This is a very simplified example of how generative AI works. But wait, do you see the problem? It just used both of our artworks without our consent just by typing a few lines. There have been some cases of AI programs directly stealing people's artworks when generating a prompt. This is obviously a big no-no, as most of the time this artist has spent to make the artwork has now been wasted by someone who's created an artwork with the click of a button. But it gets worse, because those who use AI programs to generate their own art synthetically are selling, yes, selling their artworks online. This essentially means that they're creating their artworks by writing a few words and even getting success out of it. This is really concerning, especially with art skill floor being already very low. I mean, geez, sometimes it feels like you can leave your shoe on the floor and somehow get £1,000 or whatever your currency is for winning an art competition. But with all this said, however, is it fair to put all artists who use AI in this same category? Number 2. AI can be used as assistants. Whilst I do believe that AI being used to create the entire image for you is a very unethical way of using AI, we shouldn't necessarily be worrying about people who are using it to assist them. For example, AI can be used to change the mood of a certain image you've created, which would be pretty punishing if you had to start from scratch. You can also stylize an existing image, experiment with different styles, it can even influence your own styles. However, AI-generated content should only really be enjoyed in small quantities, like I say, especially since your work's quality is also at stake here. Let's not even think about the 2022 AI art pictures. Using AI art this way though, can help you give your work more open pathways in terms of direction. It can even give you ideas. But it's important not to get carried away, as there still needs to be that human touch to make your artwork as its intent, story, or even purpose, which is what many artworks already have. We need personal connection and personality, and that's something that using AI alone cannot entirely replace. Especially since it takes 0 talent. AI art can be upsetting to artists due to the very low skill floor as mentioned earlier. To make an artwork completely made of AI, you get a program, you type a few words in, and with your finger on the button, your device has generated a beautiful or cursed image, which only requires you to type. When digital art became a thing, and CGI, to some extent there was some disagreement as it seemed to make things easier for the artist. But does it really? You still have to apply every single line, you still have to smooth. What about layering, gradients, blending, smudging? All of this requires skill to do right. It's more than just Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V. It's just as valid as traditional art, as it's still you. For AI, you press a button and that's it, like literally. It's no longer you. So can you really say that it's your own work? Well, only if you used it to help you, which leads me back to the other side of the argument. It can be used to generate ideas. The use of AI is best suited in the beginning stages of your work. For example, say you wanted to draw a car or house of some sort. Well, AI can help create a, hopefully, copyright-free reference photo that you can work right off of. Who knows? Maybe it can give you inspiration for the next big art project that you're doing in terms of composition, or even form. Add stuff to it, remove stuff from it, adjust the proportions, you name it. AI is a very useful tool here as it can give you ideas you yourself may never come up with, yet you are still in the steering wheel rather than use it to do all the heavy lifting for you. You're still the one laying all the brush strokes, pencil strokes, digital lines, etc. all by yourself, so you can still claim it as your own work. And a big plus? No more 8-fingered, 6-limbed AI monsters. In conclusion, it may seem like I was trying to be somehow on both sides of the argument. But the answer to today's question in reality is AI itself can only be as bad as the intent we use it for. AI is a good way to help you through your artwork. It can also lay the groundwork for a new piece of artwork. But at the same time, AI risks controversy when it entirely replaces all the hardworking people in all things created by something entirely synthetic. It's an understandable concern that AI may take over artists' jobs in the future. However, it won't replace any of us, as art still requires human thought, and any large-scale AI projects have failed miserably. Art needs meaning, and you only get that through a fully biological human. And that concludes today's, or tonight's for me, Speak and Stroll. Thank you for watching. This is actually to celebrate 50 subscribers, so thank you so much for your support. I did hope you enjoyed, and if you did find this one interesting, check out the last Speak and Stroll that I made, where I uncover 4 truths / tricks about art competitions, which I'm linking above right now. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Catch you later!